If you're in San Diego and you've been thinking about buying or selling here in 2026, this video is going to give you a real honest look at what's happening right now. Not what the headlines say, not what your neighbor heard, what the actual numbers show, specifically here in Chula Vista and across San Diego County. Before we get into the numbers, for those of you who are new here, let me just take a second to introduce myself. I'm Corey Rios, and I've been helping families with their real estate needs for over 11 years. 4.5 years ago, my family and I relocated to Chula Vista. Look, we fell in love with the community, the neighborhoods, the people, the local businesses. It's why we're so passionate about helping families find their place in San Diego County. This channel is about giving you the kind of straight, honest information I'd sit down and share with my own family. Before we get into the data, I want to be upfront with you about something that's very important. Everything I'm sharing today is for educational purposes only. I'm a licensed real estate professional, not a financial advisor, not a tax professional, and not an attorney. The data I'm sharing reflects what the market looks like as of March 2026, and it's meant to help you understand what's going on here, not to tell you about your specific situation. All right, so let's talk about what's actually going on. Now here's the big picture situation here in San Diego. Let's start with San Diego County as a whole, and then we'll zoom in all the way to Chula Vista. The median price for a single family detached home here in San Diego County is sitting right around $1 million. That's up about 6.5% compared to this time last year. Now, here's something I want you to pay attention to because it affects both buyers and sellers right now. New listings in San Diego County jumped 17% in just 1 week here in early March. Spring is here. More sellers are coming to the market right now than we've seen in months. If you're a buyer, that means more options. If you're a seller, that window to be the only game in town is starting to close. For condos and townhouses, the attached market, prices are around $670,000 on a rolling average. That segment is taking a little longer to sell, about 25 days to go under contract compared to 15 days for single family homes in the last few weeks. So what does that overall inventory look like? About 9.5 weeks of supply of detached homes and about 15.5 weeks for condos and townhouses. So to put in plain terms, it's not a frenzied seller's market like 2021, but it's not a buyer's market either. It's competitive, and the right homes are still moving fast. Questions to ask your professional. What is the current supply level in the specific zip code I'm focused on? Are prices trending up, flat, or down in that area right now? And how does the spring inventory increase affect my timeline as a buyer or seller? Let's talk about mortgage rates, because I know this is where most people have a lot of questions right now. Now, as of this week, March 24th, 20 through 26, the average 30-year fixed rate is sitting between 6.2 to 6.4%. Now, I'll be honest with you, rates have actually moved up over the last few weeks. About a month ago, they were a little closer to 6%, just below. So the right direction now is slightly higher, not lower. The real reason is that the Federal Reserve met just last week, March 17th and 18th, and they chose not to cut rates. They're still watching inflation. They're watching oil prices right now. And until they see clear signs of that inflation is truly cooling off, they're not in a rush to make a move. I want to share a perspective on this, and I say this gently because I know it's not what everyone wants to hear. A lot of people have been waiting for rates to drop before they make a move. And while rates were holding steady, home prices in Chula Vista and across San Diego County kept going up. There's a real cost to waiting, and that cost doesn't always show up the way people expect. That said, every situation is completely different. Please talk to a licensed mortgage professional about what makes sense for your specific finances. I'm not a lender, I just want you to have the full picture. Now, 2 things worth knowing if you're a first-time home buyer or if a conventional loan feels out of reach. FHA loans right now are averaging around 6%, noticeably lower than conventional. And if you're a veteran or active military, and we have a lot of families in this community, VA loans have no set limit for eligible borrowers. 0 down payment, no jumbo loan requirement. That is a powerful tool. And if you think it might apply to you, please find a VA approved lender to have that conversation. And again, I can set you up with a few. So questions that I ask your professional. Based on my credit and my income, what rate can I realistically qualify for today? Am I better fit for a conventional loan, FHA, or VA? And if rates come down in the next year or two, how does refinancing work? What does my monthly payment actually look like at 6% versus 6.5%? All right, so one thing that surprises a lot of buyers when they first look at San Diego, they assume they're gonna need a jumbo loan. Now here's something that might change that assumption. San Diego County's conforming loan limit for 2026 is $1,104,000. What does that mean in plain terms? With just 5% down, a buyer can purchase a home for up to $1,160,000 and still be within a conventional conforming loan, no jumbo loan required. In Chula Vista, where the median sales price is sitting around $785,000 to $822,000, many buyers in this market are comfortably within that limit. Now that opens up more lender options and typically means better rate options also. All right, let's get into specifically Chula Vista, because Chula Vista is not just a zip code for me, this is where my family lives. This is my community, and the data right now tells a really interesting story. So the median sales price in Chula Vista is currently in the range of $785,000 to $822,000, depending on the data source, the exact month. The average home in Chula Vista is receiving approximately 4 offers if priced well. And homes here are selling at 100.1% of asking price, which means on average, sellers are landing slightly just above asking price. Now I want you to zoom in on one specific area. If you're focused on Northeast Chula Vista, this is a different conversation. In the zip code 91914 are communities like Rolling Hills Ranch, San Miguel's Ranch, Bella Lago. There is actually less than 1 month's supply of homes right now. So prices are up 5.5% over last year. And the median home price has climbed to around $1.25 million. If that's your target area, you need to be ready before you start looking. Pre-approved, budget locked in, working with someone who knows those streets. Now, here's something I want to highlight because it doesn't get talked about enough. There are over 43,000 Chula Vista properties, and more than 50% have equity. And nearly 12,000 homes here have homes that are completely paid off. So that's not a small thing. That represents real, meaningful wealth that the families of this community have built over time. So if you're a homeowner here, you may be sitting on more financial strength than you actually realize. One more thing I want to mention. We're seeing buyers coming in from Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Raleigh, North Carolina, who specifically searching for homes in Chula Vista. And the reason is pretty straightforward. Compared to those markets, Chula Vista offers tremendous value. Master plan communities, good schools, close to downtown San Diego, the Bay, and the border. And a price point that makes more sense for families. That outside demand is part of what keeps this market competitive. So questions I ask your professional. What is the current supply level in the specific Chula Vista neighborhood I'm targeting? Are homes in my price range selling above or below the price right now? Based on what's sold recently nearby, what is my home worth today? How does my current equity position affect my options if I want to sell or refinance? So what this means for buyers and sellers. Buyers, if you're a buyer, you have more options right now than you've had in a while. That spring inventory surge is real in San Diego County, and more homes are coming to the market means more chances for you to find the right one. With Chula Vista's median price around $800,000, San Diego County's conforming limit at over $1 million, a lot of buyers in this market don't need a jumbo loan. That matters more than most people realize. So a few things I tell any buyer right now. Get pre-approved before you start touring homes. Not just pre-qualified, fully pre-approved. In a market where well-priced homes get 4 offers on average, walking in without a pre-approval letter puts you at a real disadvantage. And know the difference between neighborhoods. Chula Vista has micro markets. What's happening in a 91914 is completely different from what's happening in a 91910, 91911. So working with someone who knows those differences. If you're a seller, the spring market is opening up right now. The buyers who spent all winter watching listings are actively out there. But here's what I see working and what I see not working. The 2026 buyer, they're savvy, they're informed, they're smart. They've been watching online listings for months. They've been using AI to help them. They know what's sold nearby and for how much. They'll pass on an overpriced home and go straight to the next one. Now, homes that launch correctly, right price, right presentation, are generating multiple offers in the first week. Homes that launch too high, sit for 30 or 45 days, and then reduce their price, often end up selling for less than they would have if they had simply started at the right price. Getting the right price from the beginning isn't about speed, it's about protecting the value of what you've built. Please consult with a real estate professional who can build a proper data-driven pricing analysis specific to your home and your neighborhood. Now, before I wrap up, I want to quickly walk through a few things I hear pretty regularly from people in this community, because some of these ideas, if you act on them, can cost you real money. So, misconception number 1, the San Diego market is crashing. No, it's not. Prices county-wide are up over 6% on a rolling average right now. Chula Vista homes are selling above asking price. No major forecasting is projecting a price crash here. Misconception number 2, I should wait until rates drop to 5% before I buy. The rates were over 7% in 2023. People waited. Rates came down a little and prices went up. The Fed held rates steady just last week. Nobody is projecting a rapid drop down to 5% anytime soon. Again, please talk to a licensed mortgage professional about your specific numbers. Waiting indefinitely has a cost too, and that cost sometimes gets overlooked. Misconception number 3, all of Chula Vista is the same market. I live here. I can tell you that's not the case. The Northeast zip code has under 1 month worth of supply and a median price over $1.2 million. Other parts of Chula Vista are much more accessible. Knowing the difference between neighborhoods is one of the most valuable things a good local agent brings to the table. Misconception number 4, I can price my home high and negotiate down later. Chula Vista homes are selling at 100.19% of the asking price, which tells you well-priced homes are getting above, not below. Overpriced homes are sitting, and that home that's been sitting for 45 days sends a message to the buyer that something's off, even when nothing is. So I want to close with something personal. I started making these videos because my family moved to Chula Vista. We had a lot of questions, and it made a real difference to have someone who would just give us straight answers without an agenda. That's what we want to be for this community. So whether you're a first-time home buyer trying to figure out if this market is good for you or reachable for you, a homeowner wondering what your equity looks like right now, or a family somewhere else looking at Chula Vista and wondering if it might be the right fit, I'd love to have a conversation, a real one. No pressure and no obligation, just a chance to answer your questions honestly. The link below takes you directly to my calendar. Grab a free 20-minute call with me, and we'll talk you through and walk you through your specific situation. Now, if you're not quite there yet, that's completely fine. Subscribe to this channel every month, and I'll bring you an updated look at what's happening in this market. And if this video was helpful for you, hit the like button. It helps other families in this community find this content when they're looking for answers. Now, I'm Corey Reels, and I'll see you on the next video.